Hi, everybody, and thank you for coming back to Sylvia and I, who are both therapists, and we talk about mental health and well-being in the workplace and in life in general. And one of the things that is coming up at regular intervals that can either drive people to distraction or they love the whole period of it is something called Christmas. Now, what on earth has Christmas to do with mental health and well-being? It has an awful lot to do with it because some love Christmas. They can't get enough of it. They start decorating already in November. They hate taking things down in January. And they just love the whole warm and fuzzy feeling about Christmas. And there are those for whom Christmas means nothing, not their religion and not their thing at all. And then there are those who positively detest Christmas because it brings about all sorts of negative emotions. And I know, Sylvia, you got some strong views on Christmas and what it does to people for or against.
Yeah, I'm not at the detest end, but I'm not a fan of Christmas. Simply because for me, it's just a reminder of lots of things that I know it's a dangerous word, I should have and should have experienced. And it's a reminder of all the things that I've never had. For example, I see, these absolute joyous pictures of people having these family Christmases. And of course, behind the scenes, we know that on the face of it, it might be a wonderful family scene, but there's lots of different conflicts going on for people. So is it a case of putting on a brave face, putting on a false face, perhaps? But for me, I've never experienced any of that. And so a lot of things remind me of Christmas, of all the things that I've never had, and also a lot of loss around Christmas, and the fact there's so many reasons. It's not that I detest it. It's just one of those things. It's not my favourite time of the year. And if I wasn't the person that I am, I could very easily go on the slippery slope of slipping into a bad day and perhaps something more. Because for a lot of people, Christmas isn't a joyous time. It isn't a time for, families and all these wonderful things. There are homeless people. There are people that tragedy has struck them. And to have it in our faces the whole time on the TV and everywhere we look, that Christmas is wonderful. It's a time for families. Like me, I don't have a family. And there's lots of things that, we're supposed to have all these things and we don't. So it's, for a lot of people, it's not a good time, and that can affect and will affect many people's mental health.
Very interesting points there, Sylvia, because you're definitely not alone in that boat. I have a lot of clients who tell me at Christmas that they really do not like this period for a number of personal reasons, that they don't understand, they can't get into this enforced, now we all love each other and it's all happy clappy. Because it is, at the end of the day, just a calendar moving on from one day to the next. And then there's a religious reason why we have something called Christmas, just like there are other religious festivals and times, depending on whatever religion you subscribe to. And Christmas is just this global thing that everybody talks about, where we have been drilled into this Disney-esque, happy clappy idea of what it should be like. But my question is always, just like with Valentine's Day, why do we have to love each other on Valentine's Day? What about the other 364 days a year? Why can we only be happy families at Christmas? What about the rest of the year? And if we aren't happy families the rest of the year, why do we try and force that image and that situation upon ourselves where it only goes wrong? Because there's a lot of pressure about who does Christmas with whom and the presents and everything else. So it can be quite commercial. It can be quite emotionally draining to go through Christmas. But what's the answer, Sylvia? Do we just cancel Christmas? Has been tried before.
No, I don't think we cancel Christmas, but but picking up on the point you just said there, I think particularly this year as well, with the cost of living and everything else, with families trying to make ends meet, how does a family tell their children that they can't have the toys that they really love because they can't afford them, or do they still buy them and put it on the never never? So there's lots of different dynamics going on. So people that may be okay mentally health wise, the impact of that, the guilt potentially that they can't put all the things on the table that they'd like to, the guilt that they can't give their children what they want, and vice versa. I don't think it's a case of cancelling Christmas, but I do, picking up on your point about why Christmas. I mean, that's the archetypal thing that's happened in my family. It's completely dysfunctional. Yet at Christmas, we used to all come together and pretend. And it used to end up in violence and aggression, all those type of things. So I ended up walking away from that. And again, we get Auntie Ethel round on Christmas Day. We don't see her for the rest of the year. But as you say, why is it restricted to just Christmas Day? And I think that adds the pressure as well, particularly this time of year, as to Christmas isn't the joyous thing for everyone. But I don't think it's a case of cancelling it. I think a lot of people like me will just manage it in a different way. Some people will manage it better than others. Yeah, and I think also the dark nights don't help either. So all those people can't go out and do the things that they'd like during the day. But it is still a joyous time for many, many people. But I think my point I'm trying to say is, let's remember the people that it's not a good time for, and just, it's great for everyone, but for some people it's not a great time. And when I'm a bit grumpy, that's why.
So we are managing here, Sylvia, to be really, really miserable about a time of the year where we are expected to be really happy and look forward to something. And it is important to mention that we have different ideas and feelings around Christmas. Some are not happy about it, others can't wait until it starts, and they love the whole thing. Everything is allowed, everything is acceptable. It is not that you must have one feeling or another about Christmas. It is about your life. How do you feel? What's going on in your life? You may have had so many happy Christmases in your life, and something happens at Christmas, and then that was a bad year, and you can pick it up the next year. There is no set formula, and I think that's what I would like people to think about, is there is no set way that you must celebrate or not celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
I have a client who really does not like Christmas, and she has been pretending for so many years. This year, she is going to do Christmas her way, and that is definitely not the way I would like to do Christmas. But it's her Christmas. She can do with it whatever she wants, and she's looking forward to having a non-pretentious Christmas where she can do her things in her peace and quiet, with or without a Christmas tree or decorations, I don't know. But she's not going to play happy clappy at somebody's house and just pretend that everything is fine when it's not. And she will have a better Christmas. She will not be moping around. She will not be unhappy. She will have a time of that year that she wants, and everybody else can do their thing as far as she is concerned. And she has no problem with everybody else doing Christmas their way.
I think it's picking up on that. I think it's a matter of perceptions as well. Someone may spend Christmas on their own, and other people think, oh, poor person. Well, that person may choose to do that. I do enjoy Christmas. I have friends, partner and everything else, but it's just not the Christmas that perhaps other people would think. And the fact that we choose to spend it just the two of us, oh, haven't you got friends and family you're going to go to? A lot of it's perceptions.
It is.
That why are we not doing what other people would do, and what makes someone else see Christmas fantastic is not what works for other people. So I think sometimes it's accepting that some people may want to spend Christmas on their own, and other people want to spend it with friends and family. That there is no right or wrong. It's each person's individual Christmas and what works for them. What's sad for me is when people want the Christmas and they don't get what they want. They would like you know, X, Y, and Z, but they don't make that happen. I think that's where it's sad. I mean, I've accepted now that my Christmases are like they are, whereas before it used to really cause me a lot of distress that our family didn't celebrate the Christmases as we would like to think they should be. Dangerous word, should.
Mm-hmm.
Once one accepts that's not how it's going to be and then decides to do it in a different way, it's very, very different.
It's about maturing, I think, into what does Christmas mean to you in the first place, and how do you want to celebrate Christmas, if at all. And over the years, I've definitely become more relaxed about Christmas. There's less pressure. Yes, the cooking will be done. I'm doing more and more of it, and planning it better and better, and just not worrying, because, you know, it worked last year, so why would I worry that it won't work this year? So it is a lot about perception. It's a lot about cultural pressure, I think, maybe family pressure. So I think the best we can do for ourselves is to take the rest of the year into consideration, where we are maybe very good at just saying, no, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And then follow that through into those bigger occasions, where, such as Christmas, where there are expectations that you may not want to follow or that you simply can't live up to. And then have the open conversations with your family, with your children, with everybody else, that this is what we can do this Christmas, because it's not that we don't love you, it's not that we don't like you or anything else. These are just the circumstances that we have to live with. So we make the best we can of a difficult job, if that is the situation. So we can go overboard, and we can also go too far in the opposite direction.
For me, what's interesting, you know, things have been difficult in the past, but now, weirdly, I enjoy Christmas because of the choices that I can make. You know, me and my partner, we spend it together, and we have a lovely Christmas day. There's none of this pleasing other people and doing right by other people. We saw X and Y last Christmas Day, so we need to see A and B on Boxing Day, or flip it round. It's that freedom. We don't have any of those pressures. So weirdly, going from a really difficult time at Christmas to now actually really enjoying Christmas in our own way, I think for me the message is, you know, good comes out of everything, and it's not as horrendous, weirdly, as it used to be. It's actually very enjoyable now, but it might not be the Christmas that other people perceive as being wonderful and lots and loads of people, but we enjoy it in our way.
And I think that's a very important message to finish this conversation on, Sylvia. Do it your way. Stop comparing with the rest of the world. Stop comparing your Christmas with the adverts, with everything else. Do it your way. And those of you watching, tell us about your Christmases if you want, what you have learned, how you have adapted, how you have made it the Christmas that you want. And if you don't want it at all, tell us what you do instead.
Yes, that'd be good.
Thank you for watching, and enjoy your Christmas when you get to it.
Merry Christmas.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.